there, Trailblazer users. This video is going to focus on how you connect to Trailblazer's remote desktop server from a Windows PC. Now, the steps for this are going to be a little different for a Mac, so you will want to look for an upcoming video that we'll have on the process for connecting through a Mac. What we are going to need for this is Microsoft's already installed remote desktop connection application, and then the credentials provided by Trailblazer to make this connection. If you're a new user, you will have received a credentials email with the subject line of Trailblazer Application Access. If you are a user in an established account that didn't receive this email, you can obtain this information from a database administrator, or you can call or email Trailblazer's support to request this information, and we will send it out to you. Once you have the information, we need to grab the PC or computer name, the username, or password. One thing I do want to touch on here is you'll notice in the credentials email it does say remote desktop access for Mac users. Do not be dissuaded by that as a Windows user. One thing that's just worth pointing out here is that because we're a Windows native application, users on a Mac can't install this. Therefore, every Mac user will need this information to connect and use Trailblazer. Windows users, because they can install Trailblazer, in most instances will never need this information. So it is directed at the Mac users, but the information is useful for both. So we're going to start by copying the PC or computer name. So I'll highlight that and hit Control-C. I'll bring it back to my remote desktop connection app where I will paste it in, and then I'm going to tap on Connect. The next thing I'm going to do is go back and then grab my username and then subsequently my password. So I'll grab those again, and I just want to highlight that username, and I'll go ahead and paste that in. One thing you want to do is make sure you didn't accidentally grab any spaces on either end, so ensure that that's not the case. And then we'll go ahead and grab the password and do the exact same thing. So I'll hop back, I will paste that in, and then we can either hit OK to initiate the connection, or if you like, you can tap on Remember Me so that it will save this information and you can readily access it every time you open up Remote Desktop Connection. So I'll go ahead and hit OK, and it's going to initiate the connection to the remote desktop. Now I'm going to drag that over because it did appear on another screen of mine here. So let me bring that over for you. We're going to tap OK on this notice. If you'd ever like any breakdown or explanation for that notice, feel free to reach out to our support team and we can give you a little more detail on it. But for the most part, you can just hit enter on your keyboard and go right past that. Now that you're here on the remote desktop, you can go ahead and double click on Trailblazer, and here's where you're going to use the credentials that you were provided by your organization or in that Trailblazer application access email for your individual user ID and password for Trailblazer itself. Now, if you want to go back and forth between your actual Windows desktop, all you need to do is hover your mouse over the top of the screen here in the center, and you'll have the option to minimize it like you would any other application. In most Windows applications, of course, the minimize, the restore, and the close are going to be in the far top right, but for the remote desktop connection, they will operate right here in the center. If you need to get to the start menu for Windows here, so if you needed to open up another application like Notepad or Microsoft Edge, you could come in here and tap on Start, and this will bring up the Windows Start menu. You can get right back to your desktop here. When you are done working in the application for the day, it is important, if you're not running a large import or anything that you're done with, that you close out Trailblazer to successfully log off, and then you're going to double tap on the log off icon here. The disconnect will just shut down the session. So if you are doing an import and want to walk away or even turn off your computer, you can double tap on disconnect, and that will leave this running on our server but allow you to walk away. If you're done working completely, the more secure solution will be to double tap on log off, and that will completely disconnect the session and shut it down. It will be the equivalent of logging off your computer. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to our support team. If you don't have access to those credentials, then you need to connect to Microsoft's remote desktop, or rather Trailblazer's remote desktop server. Again, feel free to reach out to our support team by giving us a call at 866 909 8700. Again, that's 866 909 8700. Or shoot us an email at support@trailblz.com. Again, that's support@trail, B as in boy, L as in leopard, Z as in zebra.com.